enough preparedness in terms of the institutions participating and in terms of the capable people around the table who are ready and knowledgeable in answering the questions. So tonight you're keeping us a little bit late. We'll be preparing to distribute the questions amongst ourselves. Would you like, before I continue on with my... Yes, okay. So, of course, we'll be happy to hear more questions tomorrow, but we'll come with more details. I see many questions are of certain nature, but one thing that that was beyond what we have intended to do in this exercise, which is internal Palestinian practices as it relates to the implementation of the treaty. We found that there are certain elements which was brought into this. And yes, we have came and bring about certain elements from the Israeli occupation because it is a reality and it is along the lines that your committee has asked countries to do, and that is when countries in line with your recommendation, the general recommendation 19, Article 3, in which you specifically ask countries to report about these violations. So if you feel that this recommendation is no more relevant, I promise you, Mr. Chairman and dear delegates, that we will not bring any complaint against anyone before this committee. Will simply strict our report along the practices that the State of Palestine is responsible towards. We certainly have no intention to instrumentalize this committee or politicize it for that matter. In fact, we're here today to discuss Palestine's report, and we like to keep it about us and about the things that we can do towards our citizens and improve their situations. And therefore, I would like just to capture few notions which went along the lines of politicization of the work of this committee, or to a certain extent adopted certain elements which was brought about by organization founded and funded to deny Palestinian rights and to deny their narrative and to dehumanize them by spreading lies and half-truths about them, including certain reports that have been given to this committee. I just need to say that these organizations have dedicated their energy, if you look at their history and existence, also their extensive funding to attack the standing and integrity of the United Nations. And their report speaks for them. Also its bodies and organizations. And I promise you, your body won't be spared soon if you decide just receiving Palestine as a state is a problem for them, because even that in their report was put in a quotation and never mentioned again, except with the title. So that tells volumes about who's racist and who's not in that sense. So providing these propaganda organizations with a podium from which they can undermine the work of United Nations is certainly regrettable, and hearing certain of their arguments being repeated by the distinguished members, although it is your rights to ask, and we'll be answering all questions, that's not escaping, but it is to a certain extent, I have to say, regrettable. I just want to say in a general way, also answering to these regrettable accusations that were brought against the State of Palestine, that we state very clearly before everyone here that we do not discriminate against any of our citizens based on ethnicity, based on religion or sex. We are a state that is trying to find its path and still formulating its laws. So we look forward to anything that the committee will guide us ahead to help us do that in the best way possible. And when we reported to the committee, and our report that was mentioned is lengthy, and we were given some sort of a prevalent treatment of some sort, which is a question that was not directed to us. It was directed to whoever received our report. But I think Palestine, after 72 years of being denied to appear before your committee and others, maybe deserves a little bit of a slack. So if you cut us a slack in that sense, we would really appreciate. I just need to say also that the state of Palestine has taken, you can stop me any time, Mr. Chairman, because if you think that the time, we went over the time, we will. I do. Okay. Because I can continue tomorrow. Furthermore, the state of Palestine has taken determined steps to protect the Palestinian social fabric. And this is a daunting experience when you have more than half of your population being expelled of its land, not for a crime they have committed, not because they were aligned with any power against another, and not because they were anti-Semite. In the contrary, they were receiving those who were seeking refuge from persecution in Europe and elsewhere, not for a crime they had committed, except that they were living and tending to their lands, when they are living, most of them, in refugeehood. So, okay. All right, please.
I don't stop at 6 o'clock, stop you.
Yes, by all means. I respect time.